Thursday, November 22, we begin by telling you that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, in a letter to President David Granger, stated he was heartened to learn that the Guyanese head of state has responded well to medical treatment received in Cuba. Prime Minister Rowley also indicated that he is prepared to assist should the need arise. On day 2 of the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO, it was highlighted that air transport is vital to the development of tourism since more than half of international tourists arrive at their destinations by air. Ronetta LaFleur has more in our first report.
Director General of Trinidad and Tobago's Civil Aviation Authority, Francis Regis, said everything must be done to ensure investments made to this aviation sector ensure its growth.
It is suggested that the demand by tourism for air travel will continue for the foreseeable future, accounting for 50% of international tourism traffic. This will not happen without reliable, predictable air services provided by modern aircraft.
Executive Director of Latin American and Caribbean Air Transport Association, ALTA, Louis Oliveira, told the delegates gathered that the region is at a crossroads and highlighted areas in which ALTA is willing to contribute to the growth of the sector.
In order to grow, in order to help the development of the tourists in the region, I believe that we need to work together as airlines, governments and providers to have a better aviation industry and grow to achieve these positive results that bring the economic and social development for the region.
The 2018 ICAO conference wraps up tomorrow and will be immediately followed by the hosting of the 3rd African Diaspora meeting at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. Ronetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
Still in the aviation sector, the African Union extended an invitation to the Secretary General of CARICOM to discuss connecting Africa and the Caribbean via air transport. Tiffany Rodias tells us more.
Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy at the African Union Commission, Dr. Amani Abu Zaid, noted that Africa's population is expected to double to 2.5 billion people by 2020, and the African diaspora is estimated at more than 150 million people, with 23 million in the Caribbean alone.
Aviation provides a critical infrastructure link for the promotion of tourism between the Caribbean and the continent and for linking the people of the Caribbean to the motherland.
Ambassador LaRocque highlighted air connectivity as critical for economic growth and development, especially for small island states.
Improved, more regular and more affordable air connections facilitate greater people-to-people contact, enable economies to attract more tourists, conduct more trade, and attract more foreign investment.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu noted the need to remove traditional restrictions to improve connectivity and access to international destinations.
Guyana and the rest of the Caribbean look forward with renewed confidence at expansion of links with non-traditional markets, such as with the African Union. Africa and the Caribbean are joined by the Atlantic crossing and by history and culture. It is long overdue that we should have air transport connectivity.
Creating this linkage will be examined during the International Civil Aviation Organization Air Transport meeting, which is being held here in Guyana and concludes tomorrow. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Ranks of the Guyana Police Force are now better equipped to enforce noise nuisance regulations following a noise management workshop. Details from Paul McAdam.
The training conducted by the Environmental Protection Agency at the Police Officers Training Complex, Ivleri, targeted 50 ranks from across the country. Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan noted that given the changing society and the roles of various stakeholder agencies, ranks have to be more than just police men and women.
That is why I feel that it is necessary for a police force to understand the various compartments under which certain regulations and rules are applicable. They must now converge, as it were, into one, so that you will know. And when you know, also will appreciate that indeed this is a necessary piece of your work, you too can become better law enforcers as a result of the knowledge that you have in relation to these various compartments that you have to go to.
The minister added that training, which is increased tenfold under the government, must be taken on board.
We may not see the results overnight, But once it starts seeping in, it gets across. And when you become better policemen because of it, we are going to have law and order out there in the society.
The EPA's acting executive director, Amina McPherson Damon, informed that with Guyana's development at a critical juncture, the agency aims to engender an environmentally conscious populace.
It is hoped that today's training will equip you with the knowledge of the legal framework and technical processes that governs the management of noise emissions so as to enhance your competence in order to assist the agency with enforcing its laws and regulations.
There were 417 noise nuisance complaints in 2017 and more than 300 so far for this year. The course is part of the Guyana Police Force's effort to build capacity to address evolving future challenges. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
In other news, Guyana's Green State Development Strategy is being fully commended and supported by the World Wildlife Fund. More in this report.
WWF International head Pavan Sukhdev commended the government for its dedication to ensuring a sustainable low-carbon environment through the development of the Guyana Green State Development Strategy, GSDS. However, he also urges that resources from Guyana's petroleum industry be specifically used to support green initiatives.
Using the profits, using the revenues which come from the oil finds off the coast of Guyana is a way of financing the green state, putting in the investments in the right areas, and that includes, of course, renewable energy. The President's vision, President Granger's vision, has been well spelled out already as far back as 2015, and again several times. We have heard him speak recently on the importance of developing renewable energies as the way forward in Guyana. So I'm hopeful that some of the oil finds and the benefits from that, financial benefits, will be invested into renewable energy here in Guyana.
Speaking from Georgetown on Wednesday, where he wrapped up a 3-day visit to the country, Sukhdev reiterated that oil resources must be used in a positive way. He added that areas such as agriculture and human capital need support and development.
I would expect that the investment of the resources that Guyana has inherited through the ocean oil will take place into developing cities as centers of human development and human capital. So building Georgetown, further developing it, and then developing and investing in agriculture in a way that provides higher incomes for those who are farming, as well as new business opportunities along the value chain of agriculture.
The WWF head told the media discussions with farmers in Berbice have set the tone for a new type of chemical-free farming which can propel Guyana to the top spot of food-producing nations in the region. Sukhdev also urges that proper legislation be put in place to guide programs for development of the country's green initiatives. Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
If you or someone you know was having a heart attack, would you know the signs and what to do?
Hello, I'm not feeling that well. Can you pick me up and take me to the hospital, please?
Know the risks and signs. It saves lives.
The Ministry of Education, with support from the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, today launched the National Sensitization Workshop on Caribbean Early Childhood Development. Details in this story.
The Caribbean Early Childhood Development Good Practice Guide was developed specifically for countries within the region. It was designed to assist education policy makers and practitioners in the field to deliver quality care and learning experiences for children in Guyana and the Caribbean at large. Education Minister Nicolette Henry said the early education field needs well-conducted empirical studies so as to base professional development practices.
Over the next 2 days, you will be provided with a platform to learn comprehensive, evidence-based good practices, which have been sourced from, I understand, 17 countries in the Caribbean, including education representatives from international agencies, namely CARICOM, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, and of course, our main development partner here in country, UNICEF. The Ministry of Education is acting on this proven global and regional quantitative research, which demonstrates tangible results by capturing and shaping a child's early educational development in a safe and nurturing environment.
The workshop is being facilitated by a development consultant from Grenada, Mr. Leon Charles, and Mrs. Sean Williams out of Jamaica. Charles explained the objective behind the Good Practice Guide.
It is really a document which tells you how to do things. I like to describe it as a how-to document. If you want to know how do I design a policy, you can pick up the guide, go to that relevant section, and you'll get the various steps in terms of what are the principles I should be applying, in terms of how were the principles applied in other countries, and therefore you could ask the question, can this work in Guyana, or can I do it a little differently? So that's what the guide is trying to do in very, very, very simple English.
Participants will explore, among other things, how principles can be applied to the specific national setting. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
The Guyana Tourism Authority, GTA, and the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana, THAG, signed a Memorandum of Understanding which formalizes their partnership in the tourism sector. Anara Khan tells us more.
In a brief ceremony earlier today at the OMG restaurant, the two tourism organizations inked the agreement. GTA Director Brian Mullis remarked that while the two entities have engaged on a number of activities, the signing of the MOU is aimed at officially formalizing the partnership.
THAG and GTA have been partnering for a while, but it's never been formalized. Private-public partnerships in tourism are the norm in mature tourism destinations around the world, and we certainly want to make sure that that's the norm here in Guyana. So to do so, we have structured a memorandum of understanding based on each organization's mandates and our strengths, and define clear activities that we'll be working with one another. A structured approach of this nature will help to ensure our efforts are complementary and mutually reinforcing.
Echoing those sentiments was THAG President Mitra Ramkumar.
This is an area I think could be used across Guyana of how the authority can work with the private sector in the interest of building the industry. So the focus is not on if it's THAG or if it's the GTA. The focus is building our tourism industry. And we've said that, I'm glad that Trina, in her introduction, said that a sustainable tourism industry, because everything that we do in this industry is promoting sustainability.
The two tourism organizations also used the event to announce the launch of Guyana Restaurant Week, which forms part of the calendar of activities for Tourism Awareness Month. Patrons will have the opportunity to eat, explore, and repeat at any of the 19 restaurants participating. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
Your tip for the day is be water conscious. Conserve water by turning off the faucet when you brush your teeth. Check for and repair leaks in all toilets, faucets, and shower heads. Save water. It is precious. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp and social media and follow us on our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.